All right, Will, so what's the plan on dropping this bad boy?
Well, timber's coming out because it's getting sparse and beginning to give up the ghost. This is the last tree in this unit. I'm trying to decide whether to throw it over here in this opening or to put it over here in this opening. I've been trying to make that decision all morning.
What are the factors involved?
Well, the weight. So this older timber doesn't like to swing very much weight. So essentially, if you're not going to push it over center, you've got to go with the weight and try to find within a few degrees as to where it needs to lay. I'm trying to miss this timber standing in front of it, but it's inevitable that some of the crown of each is going to clash, and when it does, it's going to rain limbs on the stump here. So, but I've decided to go with the weight, which means it'll go in that opening right there. These timbers are trying to grow towards the most exposure, and so most all these timbers have a lean to the southeast, and that's the way this one's leaned too.
Okay. So this one that it's right next to, how are you gonna avoid that tree?
Well, the limbs of each are going to clash, and that's going to rake the dead limbs out of the one that I'm felling. But the timber that stands in front of the one I'm felling is big enough to withstand that that resistance. In other words, I don't believe I'll break the top out of it.
So it'll break a few branches, but not the tree top.
Right. So, yeah, like I say, we're going to lose some limbs, but we're not going to lose the timber top. But so right here, the back side of this timber is pretty barren, but most of its limbs are growing on the downhill side of it, and that's where I'm going to use that weight to put it in this hole.
Okay.
And as I say, I'm trying to work with the weight so as not to have to swing that weight and put it elsewhere. Like I say, the old timber is pretty brittle, and it really doesn't like to hold on to that weight while it's swinging. Just ease into it.
So I see you've got a assortment of tools, saws, wedges.
Yeah, I use 2 saws to open the face. I do my cleanup with the smaller saw, get the undercut in, and I like to clean out the apex of the undercut so there's no kicker under the timber there to persuade the weight as it's coming.
Okay. Don't want any unwanted persuasion.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Let's see what you can do here. Yeah.
Well, that's it. I'm ready to fell it. It's gonna go in a hurry too.
Okay. It's gonna happen quick, huh?
We got that weight up there already. Are you getting drone of it?
Yeah.
Anyway, this one,
Are you happy with how it fell?
oh yeah,
Looks good.
yeah, we didn't tear up anything, and it was leaned hard enough, and when they are, it's hard to keep up with the holding wood. So as it's coming, you like to be able to saw that wood off, so as to prevent what you see here. This is what we call stump pull, and when it pulls the grain out of the butt log like that, of course that much of it is
Damaged.
and that's the reason why I long butted it. I cut ahead so as to go away with that before I cut my log length. But that's what we call stump pull.
So it's just a couple feet in there of
Yeah.
damage to the
Yeah.
tree.
And you can see that evidence on the stump when it leaves. Whatever you've got, whatever is left on the stump is what came out of the butt log, and so you'll go about that far ahead on the butt log to be able to eliminate that stump pull. They don't want that when they saw boards out of it, of course. You know, they want a solid cylinder, so I cut that away. But
And here's the stump. It shows the results.
yeah, you can see the grain that was pulled out of it. I cut that off. I like to leave an attractive stump without all the thread.
Makes a difference for those who know, huh?
Well, you know, it's a show of expertise.
Yes.
It's a show of
Quality work.
professionalism. Yeah. But and somebody might decide to sit down on the damn thing.
Good
You know.
point.
And they wouldn't want to
have a bunch of jaggies on it, or
wouldn't want a prickly in their ass, you know.
mm-hmm.
So that's another reason too, and especially here in the park. Yeah, this is a real prestigious job, and I'm real thankful to be the steward of this timber.
The go-to guy for Ponderosa State Park.
Yeah, so I like to show my best here, and
Anybody that comes across this stump's gonna say, yeah, that guy knew what he was doing.
yeah, I hope so. That's the only evidence that's,
Yes, that's all that'll be left.
you know. And if you don't clean it up well too, that can be a bad show. But I always do, even right down to the raking, you know, of the smaller.
How long have you been doing hazardous tree removal for Ponderosa State Park?
25 years.
Too cool. Is the Humboldt your preferred, or is it always what you do on these big Ponderosas?
We always use the Humboldt on everything. To put a western cut on a stump is to take the open face out of the butt log. So you end up with that taper on the butt log. And so now you're trying to decide where to measure from.
I see.
Because now you've got a shallow and you've got a long point. You follow me?
Yes.
When you use a Humboldt, you've got a flat base. And you don't have to cut that taper off.
So a little less waste, if nothing else.
Precisely. And so why would you use any other? And what's more, when a timber tips, when it tips on a western cut, there's nothing for the timber to rest against if it should decide to come back on the stump. If you drove another tree, well, with a western cut, that timber can come off of the stump and back at your sawyer.
Oh, I see.
With a Humboldt, the timber, the flat base of the butt log, is resting on the undercut. And so it's just that much more prevention of it coming off the
It's a
stump.
safety thing as well.
Sure, sure.
The tip is stable. I found
You
the
ever
top.
done a log roll competition, Jeanette? Try it.
I used to play that game.
I better not dare you to do anything, because I know you too well.
Yeah.
All right.